evening and welcome to Leicester Fan TV. As ever, we're live on a Monday, 7:30 till 8. We want your views, we want your comments. There's so much to talk about as ever, being Leicester City. We just need to know what you think. Is it all over? I guess that's the big topic tonight. It is all over, isn't it? Have you got the slightest inkling that it's not? I don't know what there is to talk about there, but insert team name, it's another defeat. I might as well just keep that banner every week, because it just keeps growing and growing. It's 13 defeats out of 14. I've never known it this bad. Have you? Can you remember it ever being this bad in all the time you've been watching Leicester? And thank God there is no game this weekend. Let's just have a week off. But what do you want to talk about tonight? This is your show. We want your views. We want your comments. So get involved. I'm going to put up a link if you want to click on it and come on camera as well. But we want your views and we want your comments. Let us know what you think to what is going on at Leicester City.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Indeed, welcome to the show now. Don't forget, we've got a big thanks to our pals at Puckers. We've got a new competition, which is coming up at the end of the show today, so you can win a season's worth of Pucker Pies. That'll give you something to cheer about, at least anyway. So let's get as many comments in, as many views. I'm going to have Jamie from the Fox's Arms in, because he looks like he's walking through an airport. So let's just see if we can get him on. Jamie, can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going?
Yeah, good. I wasn't expecting you to click on. You've just landed in Mallorca.
Literally just landed, so I thought I'd just get the first couple of minutes and literally reiterate what I was saying over the weekend, that 13 defeats out of 14. I think we've got like 7 points from 4 out of 48 in total. It's just not good enough. It is not good enough. But there's no pressure, no nothing. It's awful, Phil. It really is absolutely awful. And I don't care about people saying, well, it's not worth getting him gone. The confidence for next year, if we keep him, will be down. Will be lower than a snake's belly. That's how low the confidence will be next year. It's awful. We need to get, I don't know. People keep saying, oh, yeah, keep him. Like I say, the confidence, I can see is only going one way, Phil, and that's further down, to be honest, not just the Championship. I really can.
Jamie, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but are you saying sack Rude now?
Yeah. Yes. Get rid of him. Gone now. Go. I was never really into him in the first place. I was excited, but I was also worried about it. 13 out of 14, Phil, like you said in the intro. I can't remember we were losing 13 out of 14. Rodgers got sacked for Leicester. Cooper got sacked for Leicester. Puel got sacked for Leicester. And we're still keeping him on. I know people keep saying, well, we can't have 3 managers in a season. We're going to go down. We're going to go down anyway because the team's not good enough. It's not good enough. Everyone thought it was Cooper, but it just proved it's not Cooper. It was Ruud van Nistelrooy, because the squad isn't good enough. 7 games without scoring a goal in the league, just straight 7. Not about the home games, just the league games as well. It's awful. It's like 10 and a half hours, is it? Without a goal.
The last game we scored a goal at the King Power was December the 8th, when you were last back from Spain.
That 91st minute against Brighton, Anthony thought about the Christmas shopping, let alone Leicester not scoring another goal.
No, and I mean, the next home game is Newcastle on the 7th of April. We will have gone all of January, all of February, all of March, and most of December and some of April before we even have the chance to see a home goal.
I mean, literally, it could go worse, Phil. We've got Man City, we've got Liverpool, we've got Newcastle, we've got Wolves. Where's the next points? Brighton away. Where's the next points coming from?
Yeah,
I honestly don't know. I want him gone. I want him gone, and I'll hold my hand up. I want him gone. Simple as. People might say it's the wrong time to sack him. We sacked Brendan Rodgers with 9 games to go. I know he still went down. 13 defeats in 14. We need something new there, Phil, I'm afraid.
Jamie, we ran a poll on Twitter, X, earlier, and it said, do you want Ruud in charge in the Championship? 81% of fans said no to Rude for the championship.
Say that again, Phil. It's just got a bit noisy out here.
81% of fans said they didn't want Rude to run us in the championship.
Oh no, I don't want him there. He might do this. Hold on, I'm trying to get one over here at the crossing. He might do what Enzo did. It's fair enough, but the confidence is so low. I just can't see it. At least the confidence wasn't that bad when we got relegated 2 years ago, but now confidence is shocking, Phil. Absolutely shocking, pal.
And I mean, everybody who's watching this knows you, Jamie. Obviously, the famous Aftermath show every Sunday for years at 9:30 every week. Tune in. But Jamie, you've just done what most fans do. Some fans come from Nottingham, from Leicester, from wherever, from Brighton. You've come from Spain. People put in a big effort to come yesterday. It was a waste of time yesterday for the fans.
It was. I spent, it's just over 400 quid for me to come back every home game. The games I've done that 4 times. And yesterday was the worst time. And I nearly left early. I put it out to the 90 minutes. I didn't have an excuse to go, really, because it wasn't like I could catch a flight, because it wasn't till today. So I stayed until the 3rd goal and left. But the people leaving, walking with the feet, unbelievable. I've never seen it empty like that so quickly. It was untrue. It really was. And the atmosphere in the ground was nothing. Absolutely nothing. To be honest, I think there's more tourists there nowadays, Phil. I saw no end of tourists there watching the game just because it was Man U. So I don't know how they got tickets, but the atmosphere...
They're buying them on the resale site. That's it. The Leicester City resale site. Must
be. But, yeah, Phil, everyone that knows me will know that I want Rude out from the 2 videos I've done over the weekend. Yeah. For me, Phil, there's no doubt in it. Out for me. Yeah. Simple as.
All right, then, Jamie, listen, have a good journey for the back to the bar. I know the bar's opening very soon, isn't it, Jamie?
A month today. All right. 14th of April, a month today.
We'll see you on
You can't
Sunday.
get rid of me that easily, Phil.
Jamie. All right, we'll see you very soon.
See you later. Be good.
Thanks, Jamie. So what we started with Jamie, he was clicked in. Listen, he's done a £400, 3,000 mile round trip. I know so many of you have been getting your comments in. Let's get some of them in there. Wayne, good evening to you. Says 100% right. Robert says, I think Matt Piper would be worth a go. He does talk so much sense. I did the BBC When You're Smiling show earlier on Radio Leicester, and Pipes does talk a lot of sense at the moment. Andy says, is Rude up there with Leicester's worst manager? His stats are terrible, Andy. I don't know. Name me some other managers who've done worse. Peter Taylor, David Pleat era was bad. I don't know what you're saying. Dave saying, is really still saying performances are better? Well, really, he's going to come on very, very shortly. Tom says, do you think the club have accepted relegation? Mate, I think they must have done. Tom, what do you think? I've almost accepted it. I'm not quite there yet. So keep your comments coming in. Jason says, the only positive is there shouldn't be any end of season awards. No goals, no passion, no player of the season. Listen, if you thought the February goal of the month competition was just comically ridiculous, you wait until you see the March one, because God knows what they're going to do with that. Listen, I'll put a link in there. If you want to come on and click on the link, I've got Nick's clicked in, Clibo's clicked in, Reed is clicked in. I'm going to be getting them on very, very shortly. Jason says the only positive is there shouldn't be. I've just done that one. I'm doing it twice. What am I doing? Come on, Bill. I'm as crap as Rude. Nathan says here, worst Premier League manager. Yeah, statistically, I think he is Nathan, isn't he? I think he is in there. Alan says here, Aidan says, I accepted championship after the Everton defeat. Let's get in. I'm going to add Clibo in here first, and then we'll get Nick on here. Clibo, welcome to the show. How are you, mate?
Oh, a little bit depressed after that. I've got to be honest.
Have you accepted it's over?
Yeah, I pretty much accepted it. I think for me, the Everton game was when I accepted it. But I mean, with shows like this, there's a lot of speculation, and I think the fact that the club has consistently not come out with any statements or just anything to allow fans to make fans feel like they've got something to look forward to. Basically, people are theorizing all the time, and I just think that actually makes us more anxious as fans. Nobody really came out and said, why did we sack Cooper? I mean, you can speculate yourself why we sacked Cooper, but why did we sack him? Why is nobody coming out and saying anything about these performances? Because Rudy's coming out with the same things over and over again, almost like Klopp's got him in the boardroom and said, "This is what you're going to say." But really, we need to hear from the club, because otherwise, we're making up our own things. And I think by the atmosphere yesterday in the stadium, there wasn't so much of the protest anymore. It was like, well, you've just ground us into the ground, basically. You've killed us off, and we can't even be bothered to protest anymore.
Clibbo, here's something for you. There's a lot to read out here, but I'm going to summarise. James is saying he's never done this before, but he's contacted the club and he's cancelled the auto renewal of his season ticket. I think he's going on to say that he may still do it. I've been in WhatsApps with some of my mates who've been going years and years and years, season ticket holders. Our chat today, not me, but one of them said, "I don't think I'm going to do it next year." He's had a season ticket 30 plus years, and he's just like, "I'm not enjoying it anymore. It's just so disconnected from the club." He's debating not renewing his season ticket.
Well, my nephew's been a season ticket holder for 22 years, and he stopped going down, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 home games ago. He said, "I just can't do it anymore." He said it was just ruining. I mean, he's massive, passionate fan. I mean, he used to ring me every single night and we'd just chew the fat about Leicester. It was just massive passion. He doesn't watch the games anymore when they're on telly. He can't be bothered. And I think that it really says, goes back to my original point. The fact that we're having a bad season, it's Leicester. We're going to have these blips. It's, history tells us that. But in the past, it was never this secretive. We don't know what's going on. We don't know whether Rude has been told, "Look, in January, we'll make it look like we're trying, but there is no money. Will you stay with us next season and build a young squad?" We don't know that. No. And if that is not the case, then I do feel that
if they said that, Clibbo, you'd kind of go, "Okay, I'll see what the plan is."
I'd accept it, and I would be a bit more. I would back Rude a bit more, to be honest with you, because I do think that, given, I kind of agree what Jamie says. That next season it will be lower confidence, but that really will only sort of come to fruition if we keep the same players. We've still got the same kind of back fours we were relegated with. So if we can clear those out and bring some young, hungry players in, some of that have been on loan, you've got your Jake Evans, your Monga. There's other ones. If we can sprinkle them in and get keep a couple of experienced players in there, there's no reason why we can't really push for a playoff spot. And I think with a new system, new players, there's always that optimism, and fans will get on board with that. But like you were saying, if you're not telling the fans anything, we're speculating. We don't know whether Cooper had a massive bust up with anyone. We don't really know anything, and I think that is the most frustrating thing for me. And I'm starting to dig my heels in and go, I can't be bothered. And in my 52 years, I've never done that.
Clibbo, thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to let you go so I get some comments on and some other views, but I appreciate your views at this tough time. Thank you.
No worries.
Cheers, mate. I'm going to let Clibbo go. He's obviously very passionate there about it. Tom says here, another horrendous performance. And then a lovely email from the club about Liverpool. I know. Like, who runs their marketing? Who runs their PR? I genuinely don't understand some of the things. And don't forget, tomorrow, Tuesday, you've got to renew your season tickets. And like somebody said in some of the comments there, nice one, stick it into the guts. Somebody said about, it's a digital season ticket next year. So gone are the years where we had the plastic card and you could, if you couldn't go last night because they moved it to a 7 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday, if you couldn't make it, you could give it to your dad or your brother or your mum or your sister or your daughter and say, go on, you have my ticket. But do you know what happened last night? And Jamie mentioned it, tourists. I never thought we'd be that club, but because nowadays there's digital tickets. You can't just pass your ticket over to a mate and say, go on, here you go. You go and enjoy it. What you have to do now, as you all know, is hand the ticket back and then the club resell it. And I tell you what, there was loads of Man U fans around. I was in P Block. There was loads of them. They were well behaved and they were quiet, but they were around. You could tell it. You just know. But not many of them kicked off. A few did. But that's because a digital ticket doesn't let you pass it to your friend. The club, by the way, we sell it for 50, 60 quid. I know Ivan Gibbs said he spent 105 quid, didn't you, Ivan, last night? He says it. At least Top was at the game last night with Rudkin. But it costs a lot of money, 50 quid to go to a game. But gone are the days where you can hand it over. They'll say, well, you shouldn't be doing that anyway. Dorco says the board caved in to the fans to demand sack Cooper. They won't do the same with Rude. And listen, you know, I stood by Cooper back in the day. You can watch the videos. I said we shouldn't have sacked him as it was. I was disappointed, but the club did it. So back the club. But Rude, I don't know how you defend Rude. How do you defend 13 out of 14 games? I'm going to add Nick in very, very shortly here. Imtiaz, hope you're well. Yeah, Imtiaz says we've become the yo-yo club of the past again. We've just gone back to where we were. Exactly, into I hope you're well. I don't think the players are playing for this manager. I would agree with you on that. That doesn't look like the players are. Root looks absolutely defeated before, during, and after a game. Just stands there on the sideline with his hands sort of in his pockets. I don't see that much animation in there. David says, I'd love to see our youth players, and I'm sure they'd have more passion and fight in there. James Moore says, I've made my mind up. I won't be renewing. James, listen, it goes through my mind at this. I will renew. I know I will. James, you probably will as well. I don't know, because when it comes to it, we are this. I've said this before. You, James, me, everybody else watching this, we are this club. Not Top, because he wasn't here, 15 years. He wasn't there 20 years ago. He wasn't there 30 years. And he probably won't be there in 10, 20 years' time. Ruud van Nistelrooy won't be there. Jamie Vardy's been here, loves this club, but he'll be gone. We are Leicester City. But I think they've forgotten that. I think the club have lost the grasp that you are Leicester City. Not them, not the players, not the manager, not a training ground. It's you, it's people, it's human beings who live and love Leicester City. That's what Leicester City is. It's not a training ground, and it's not one manager, and it's not some players who get paid too much money. It's you and me. We are Leicester City. They forgot it, absolutely forgot it, James. So I know it's hard, and I know money's tough, but I'm sure, James, you'll probably, like me, go, do you know what? I'm still there. Patrick, hope you're well. Don't sell the ticket back and have an empty seat. Patrick says, hope you're well, Patrick. It was awful last night. I know you sit up near me. Leave the empty seat. Maybe that's a thought. Maybe that's what we need to show them in there. Anne says, bad when big signings can't make the starting lineup. Edward, Daka last night, Patrick sits in the same area in P Block, right in front of us. Patson Daka does something I can't even describe in the penalty box, apart from hilarious. That's the only words I'm going to describe it. I'm going to add Nick in now. Nick, are you ready to come in? Nick, good evening to you. Did you see that moment I'm talking about with Patson Daka in the first half? I just call it hilarious. I have no concept of what the guy was trying to do.
Are you surprised? This is Patson Daka we're
No,
talking
not at all.
about. Reedy's the only one who actually thinks he's actually a decent player. So
I think even
says
Reedy's given up
everything.
on him.
I doubt it. Regards to your season ticket thing, Phil, don't renew it. Don't renew it. And that goes for you as well, reader. Don't renew it, because the only way this changes and they'll start taking notice, is when season ticket holders don't renew. You'll get a ticket on match day. If you want to go to a game, you'll get one on match day.
I mean,
The
Aggie says he'll be
problem is,
renewing, even though Totally had enough. But go on.
Don't
Sorry,
do it.
Nick.
Don't do it. It's got to the point now. Yes, okay, Jamie wants Rude out, and I kind of agree with him, but who are you going to get in? It's still going to be the same position we're in. nothing is going to change until Top, Rudkin, they're all gone. Just get rid of them. Thank you, King Powell, for what you've done. You know, especially the last 10 years. Thank you. But it's time to move on. It's not been the same since Vishai went. If anything, it's got worse. If Vishai was still here, we wouldn't be in this position at all. Do you honestly think? Do you think we'd be in this position if Vishai was here?
No.
Honestly, no, we wouldn't.
It's gone downhill since it's happened.
Top hasn't got the balls, and it feels like, I don't know about you, but for me, it feels like he's only keeping us because his dad was invested in it.
Maybe. Reedy, we talked briefly about Daka there. I can't explain what he was trying to do in that moment. I can't really explain. He kind of ran around a bit after the ball, trying to get near it, but not near it. I've never seen somebody look like just that bad. David says here, Daka looked like that kid at school that has to come onto the pitch for 10 minutes at the end of the game just to give him a runabout. I'm not laying into you, Reedy, but have you got anything left positive to say about Daka, or are you seeing what we're seeing with him? And I only want to touch on Daka very shortly because there's so much to talk about.
The issue is, if you don't start Vardy, you've got Daka. Yes, you spoke about Edouard. He's not in the team, so there's no point even chatting about him. Who else have you got? I'm not saying you've got to play Daka. I'm not saying you've got to play Vardy. I'm just saying whatever we're doing right now is not good enough, because you know my thoughts on it from when we watched the highlights today in the game at work. And for me, looking before the highlights to after the highlights, because both of us did not witness from the 70th minute onwards, and the two biggest chances we had, they go in. They go in for most teams. And yes, it wasn't Daka's shot, but it's just mental. Like, yes, Daka had a very woeful game yesterday, and he has done for quite a few games. But then you witness the goal he scored against West Ham. Like, that's a top strike from a player who we think is nowhere near good enough. Like, we know that I believe there's something in him, and if he goes to another team in a better system with a better group of players around him, he probably does do better. But in this team, he's got no hope. He's got no hope.
Really, I'd rather have Dion Dublin up front than Daka.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. In a Leicester shirt now, he's never gonna be anywhere the player that I thought he could be and could and would be in a team that's got a lot better players around him, or a lot worse players with an easier team. Like, if he went to the League and he was in a Leon side or something, he's gonna get goals because there's teams around him who are just crap. But in a top league where you've got to be as good as Haaland or Watkins or something like that, he's just got no chance. No chance.
Why has Jake Evans not been given a chance? He's smashing it in the under-21s.
Well, why did we sell Tom Cannon? I don't understand.
To be fair, he's not exactly setting the world alight since he's gone. Was it 7 games?
But that's the problem. But that's the problem. We know we're not going to see him. We're not going to see Monga. And if you like Vardy, for me, and this is why I wanted to come on, because watching that chance he had near the end of the game, yes, he's getting older now, but any sort of striker, even a Daka level striker, would put that in a better spot than just shooting straight to the keeper. And I'm just saying that Daka probably wouldn't score either. But any striker in the Premier League, even an Ipswich striker, even Delap or even a Southampton striker would have scored that chance. And for me now, don't play Vardy. I know people are saying, yes, he's a legend and whatnot. He's not even scoring the chances he should be putting away. That's a chance for putting away.
So who comes in? If you're not playing Vardy, who comes in? There you go. So you've got to start it.
No, I get that. But we're in a position now where we are crumbling because there's no one. We can't put anyone in that striker role that's going to put a ball in the net. And that's why we're not scoring. Our best striker ever is in that team, and he can't even put the easiest chances away. That's the biggest issue.
Tom's offered Daka a role here, Reed. He says he plays 5-a-side at Hunker on a Thursday. He says Daka can come along. He probably wouldn't look out of place.
Well, listen, the Leicester All-Stars are playing against Anti-Nomads. Whoever's striker in that team will probably score more goals than any of our players.
I don't want to turn tonight into a Daka like fest. I happened to comment that he like the other 10 players on the pitch was not very good last night. He was, for me, he was one of the worst players, but nobody.
Whatever
Nick,
team we put out against anyone, like your banner says, whoever we're playing, whatever team you put out, you could swap Sumari in for Pereira. Yes, it might look better, but it's still not going to win a game. We're not scoring a goal. Our most clinical striker we've had over the last 10 years can't put the easiest chance away. And for me, that alone shows you we are relegated because we're not scoring the best chances of the game. Buonanotte, one of the best players and everyone wants to have him in the team. He has a clear chance of, yes, it's not an open goal, but any sort of high-level player should be holding the ball and turning and putting it away with ease. He just shot it straight away.
But really, what you saw last night was the worst Man United I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, exactly. And that's what shows you how bad we are.
But really, those chances that you're talking about when Buonanotte, for example, should have scored, what happens there is what you're not used to seeing is when Buonanotte is about to shoot, you're watching a Manchester United defender slide in and put his body on the line to stop the ball. Now, you're not used to seeing that because you'll remember their first goal where Wout welcome to the game, lets their player go through. Sumari doing a lifty leggy thing. Cody being halfway up the pitch. That's their first goal. You're used to watching Leicester City defenders who do nothing but defend. What you did witness in a very, very, very poor Man United side was defenders putting their bodies in the line. Now, Wes Morgan, Robert Huth used to do that really, but that's gone. So Buonanotte, yes, he misses it, but I will give the Man U defender a bit of credit for sliding in and putting his body in there to block the ball.
I get that, but then people are saying Buonanotte is this not wonder kid, but a player who a lot of fans rate highly. You've got to do more than just take a punt at it. You've got to stop with the ball, get around the defender. All we're doing is like with the Daka shot as well. I'm not going back to Daka, but the shot that Daka had just before half time, he just punts it. He doesn't try and do anything with it. That's why for me, we're not going to score a goal because we're not being creative enough. We're not being clever enough to try and get that open goal instead of let's just whack it because we need to try and get a goal. We just hoofed the ball up yesterday too much.
Nick, listen, I'm not trying to turn anything to a positive, but Neil does say the only one that was playing last night was Luke Thomas. Patrick says Luke Thomas. For Nick, somebody who's been out in the cold, Luke Thomas again is doing what kind of. This is why I've kept Hamza Chowdhury and Will Alves.
6 months ago, we were slating Luke Thomas saying he's not good enough put into the Championship. But the fact is, he's a Leicester boy. He knows what he needs to do for a club. That's the difference. None of our players now, like say even Vardy, we know how good he was, but at this point, he's not good enough for the Premier League, and that's fact.
Nick, what's your thoughts on just the overall standard from yesterday's game of players?
It's like Groundhog Day, isn't it? To be fair, it doesn't matter who we play. We know what we're going to get. You know, I think me and Reedy were speaking on Jamie's show on the text, and we kind of said who we'd like to have seen instead of Samara. I said Winks and change it up a little bit. Didn't get it. Same team. You know, okay, we're playing 3 at the back, and it made us look solid against Chelsea, but Chelsea were rubbish that day.
The only reason we didn't look that bad against Chelsea is because we just had more defenders on the team.
Yeah, and they were rubbish. Reader, they were awful. That's an awful Chelsea team.
And here's another thing for you. Here's another thing for you. Before the game, we were looking at the team sheet. Ricardo, where is he? After he's past the game now? Do we have any news on him? Where is he? What's happened?
Well, he aggravated his injury.
Yeah,
he aggravated his injury. That he was injured.
Again, another reason why we're not good enough.
No, but everybody was saying he'd been dropped. He's not been dropped. He's aggravated the injury playing against Chelsea.
No. For 15 minutes. Listen, Jamie from the Foxes On came on at the start, and I'm going to move on to Nick with this. And there's 2 parts to this question, and the big thing, and everybody watching this, is about Ruud van Nistelrooy. there's two parts to this, Nick, and you can start it off. Is one, do you keep Rude until the end of the season and then sack him? Do you keep Rude and give him a go in the Championship, or do you sack him now? So I guess sack now, sack at the end, or give him a go. Where are you, Nick, with that debate?
Well, we're down everywhere. So personally, I'd give him till the end of the season, then sack him. Bring a new manager in, new ideas, fresh ideas. Hopefully, he brings the likes of Jake Evans, Monga, Nelson, all the young superstars we've got supposedly in that youth squad through. There's no point bringing in a Sean Dyche or somebody like that till the end of the season. What's he going to do? It's the same players. What are you going to do differently?
So you're just to clarify your position there, you're saying keep Rude till the end of the season, then he's gone.
Well, yeah, because who are you going to bring in? What is realistically going to change with a new manager for what? How many games? 9 games?
Yeah.
9 games left. What are you going to do differently with the same group of players and the same issues that we've got? It only changes realistically if you get a new manager in the summer, a potential transfer window. You know, we've got players that are going to be leaving out of contract. They're going to need to be replaced, aren't they? So, you know, you've got a new manager in with fresh ideas. It's the only way it's going to work. None of this Danny Roll crap, because he won't come to us anyway. I think he'll end up going to Southampton. You know, we need somebody that, like a Nigel Pearson type manager that knows the value of a player, knows how to get the best out of players. None of this Manchester City tiki-taka style of manager. Let's go back to basics.
Let's get some fans' comments in, and then really I'm going to ask you the same. Robert says Ruud van Nistelrooy said he was injured in training, talking about a Ricky P, obviously. Gary, talking about this big debate, says no, get rid now of him. Chris says sack now. Ivan says Ruud will walk at the end of the season like he did at PSV. Last but one game of the season, he'll say he wasn't backed in January, which he wasn't, to be fair. Bill says, doesn't matter who you bring in, we're relegated now. Imtiaz says, sack Ruud and put Andy King as head coach. But do you know what, Reedy? Do you know what? Nick's shaking his head. Do you know what? Imtiaz, I don't think... listen, it's a chaotic, crazy season. I would almost push what Imtiaz has said, and it's absolutely nonsense, but it's like last throw of a dice for this season. I almost agree with Imtiaz and say sack Ruud today, put Andy King in charge, give Jamie Vardy like the reins to the thing for 9 games. And if it doesn't work, what the hell? We're going down anyway. So you might as well get rid of today, Andy King, Jamie Vardy. What do they say? The lunatics are running the asylum. Maybe do that, really. What's your take on
it? There's a few aspects on it. I would say if you brought Sean Dyche in now, while there's a 2-week break, and yes, there's still a mathematical chance we can stay up, and he probably in a 10% chance there's some way of keeping us up. I don't think that's the case, but I would not prefer to have him in the Championship. For me, unlike Nick, I do prefer that more of a tactical side of a team in the way we play. I know a lot of people won't, so I get the point of that. But from how we used Enzo and how we didn't have a clue about how he was when he first came in and how he did the stuff, I think a lot of managers next season would bring us up with the team we could have. Because I don't think we'll lose many players. I don't think we'll lose Mabadidi. I don't think we'll lose Fatawi. I don't think we'll lose a lot of our players. And I think that would be a very good Championship squad. I don't think many managers wouldn't bring us back up. Yes, we'll probably lose some, and it could be a bit of a hard season. I'm not saying we're going to come straight back up through getting the title, but for me, from what I've seen of Ruud and how I know he wants to play, I'm not saying it's been great at all. But when you've played the first few games and played some of the games coming up to now, in the likes of the Man City game, the Man U game in the cup, there has been signs of a good style of football. But the games we have, in certain games we've just been absolutely battered throughout a lot of them.
When have you seen signs of good football under Ruud van Nistelrooy?
Man City, you're going to say yes, we lost, but there were signs of good play there. There was Villa We deserve to get a point there. I'm not saying we deserve
I'm sorry,
to.
really. I hate to
I'm not
disagree,
saying.
mate. There's not been a
But
nice style of football all season, and you can throw Cooper's style
I'm
in there as
saying.
well.
I'm
It's been
saying
shocking.
I'm saying the system that Rude wants to play is what Top has wanted. Yes, Cooper was an anomaly, but for me, Enzo and Rude have the same sort of philosophy that in the Championship, I think it would bring us back up. I'd prefer to see that style of football if we can get it working well in the Championship. Championship's way easier than the Premier League when it comes to the style of play. Yes,
Okay.
I'd say
So
style of play
there's some
wise it is.
there's some big clubs that were Premier League bound not so long ago. Ask a Bolton Wanderers who were a Premier League not so long ago. Ask a Portsmouth.
I
Ask Sheffield United.
I'm
Ask
not saying it's. I'm
Leeds.
not saying it's walk in the park. I'm just saying with the
It's not
team
a
we had
walk in the park.
last year. Last year, the reason we went up, everyone was saying it's because of the quality of our squad, not because of how we played.
It was.
I think a lot of how we played was a reason why we did win the league because of how we played and the quality of the players. I'm saying with the quality of players we do have next season, I'd much prefer to see us play that way and win games than just sit back like a Burnley. Yes, they're doing well and they probably will come up, but I prefer to see us play better football and win games how we did last season than just winning 1-0 every game. I get the point. That's what a lot of people want. They just want to come straight back up. But I think
We won't go back up, but that's the thing.
we don't know that. If we kept most of our squad, I think we would come back up, maybe in playoff. But that's my situation.
I'm telling you now.
Nick, listen. Neil says here, and I'm going to ask this to you, Nick. Neil says, I honestly believe I could pick a better balanced side than Ruud van Nistelrooy. He doesn't know the strengths of several of our players. And Neil, I just want to say I kind of agree with what you say. Nick, I'm going to add to that is I like you, Reedy, like you, Nick, like Clivo was on, like Jamie was on, like everybody who contributes and says everything in the comments tonight is, I've never said this before, Nick. I feel like if you put me in charge at Leicester City, or Reedy, or you, Nick, if you put a fan in that changing room and put them in charge, we would have had a better result yesterday than 3-0. And I'm no tactician, but I think I could have got more out of those players than Ruud van Nistelrooy. And I am not a manager. But that, yesterday, partly the players, but I don't think I would accept that performance at half-time. I would be going, you're off, mate, you're off, and you're off.
I'd be throwing teacups, Phil. I'd be going old school throwing teacups.
You can, you're off, mate. That's 45 minutes. I am not accepting that, and you're never going to play for Leicester City again because that is not of a level. And I'd have done that to 2 or 3 players at half time, and I'd have said, this is not good enough. Look at the badge and look at those fans who've worked hard. Nick.
But that's the problem, Phil. We're all fans, yeah? That fox you've got on your chest right now, you would either play or manage that team, possibly for free. Let's be fair, it's something we'd all dreamed of as kids. And the problem is, you've got people there now that are only there for the paycheck. They don't care. You might have the odd one who actually gives a toss, like a Vardy or a Andy King, for example. As a bit of a club legend. But realistically, they're just employees that are picking up their £94,000 a week. They're not bothered. Whereas for us, it's a different kind of fish. It's love, breathe, live Leicester City. Dude, that's where it's different. I would. I'd dust off my boots. I'd play bloody right back again, like I used to. And I'd do it for free. I wouldn't be saying, "Oh, give me 90 grand a week," because that's how much I love the club. But the problem is we need a hard reset. And it's shocking. And this reminds me a hell of a lot. Do you remember Reed is probably too young to remember. We went down under Taylor and went straight back up with Mickey Adams, and then we had Lamanga in the Premier League. It was the season Arsenal went invincible, yeah?
Yeah.
Went down again, and then we stagnated in that Championship League One for years. This is exactly the bloody same. It's the same scenario. We couldn't buy a win then in that Premier League season. We can't buy a win now. I'm telling you now, if people think we're going to just yo-yo back up and down, we won't. I can see it on the horizon. It's exactly the same as where we were in 2003, 2004 season, without the court case for the prostitutes in Spain.
Let's not get into that, Nick.
No, but it's the same. It's the same though. Other than that, it is the same.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn says here, Championship is a lot tougher this season and will be next. Birmingham will be in a promotion mix as well, might be Wrexham. I almost can't believe it, really. But when I started watching Welcome to Wrexham 3 or 4 years ago and watching it's quite an entertaining TV programme, watching them rise from the non-league. To think we'll be back down there next season as a game to play Wrexham, that at this rate we'd lose. I just can't believe that that's the way the tables are turned. The 2016 Premier League winners to playing Welcome to Wrexham.
See, this is where I'd look on the other side of things and say, I get the point of, yes, you might be playing Wrexham, you might be playing Birmingham next season, but the one game this season that we've absolutely teared someone apart was a Championship team. And I get the point of that. Last season, I think we lost to QPR at home last season. And we go and slap them 6-2. I get the point of it. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying we're going to come straight back up. I'm saying that we could get playoffs or we might not get playoffs. But like we said last season, we were saying, will we win the league easily? We probably should have, and we did with the team we had. But I'm saying it's the same sort of team as we had last season. Now, we could do it. And I'm saying that I don't think it's worth sacking him to get a manager in that could do it. I think it's a risk either way. Like the Andy King thing that someone said. That's like bringing in another Rui van Nistelrooy. He's not a manager. I know I'm Ruud is a manager because he's managed before, but King hasn't got a clue. Yes, he might be a fan. Yes, he might be a fan like us, but we're saying that we could manage the team better. We haven't got a clue about everything about that. We can say who we want to play. I'd say we play William Koulibaly. I'm saying there's a certain level of what you need to have to be a manager. Yes, it's awful. It's a gamble, and it did not pay off. But every fan reacts to what is going on in the moment, and that's why people are saying get rid of Ruud now because we've lost so many games. But next season, if you go straight back up with Ruud, everyone like, oh yeah, why we shouldn't sack? Yeah, I'm glad we kept him. And that's my take on it. If we do it come next season and we come back up with Ruud, everyone will be saying no one's going to remember what we said about now, saying get rid of him.
You what, Reader?
You might. But right now, I'm just saying I'd rather have a Ruud style of football. Yes, it's been awful this season, but it could be completely different next season. You never know, and I'd rather see that than a guy sit back, play one win or one goal win every game. It could be better than it could be better than that next season. You never know. I'm just saying it could be, and it's all it puts and maybes, but I don't know.
I'm afraid I'm with Robert. Sack him tomorrow. I've never seen a manager be.
If there's any chance to do it, you do it now. I will agree with that. You've got 2 weeks, do it, and you've got the slimmest chance of staying up with someone new. But I would not
do it as well.
But I would not give that manager a contract over a few years. I'd say you've got these 9 games. If you keep us up, you get to stay.
For who?
Or I don't know. I don't know who it is. I'm saying whoever it is. If it's Sean Dyche, give him 9 games. If he doesn't keep us up, then look for next season. Don't just give him the next couple of years.
This is Rudkin we're talking about, though, Reader.
No, I get
that. He'll give him a 5-year contract.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get it.
Adam says that Ruud doesn't have a style. He doesn't. I don't know what we've been watching the last few weeks. It's just garbage. I mean, Adam says it's garbage. It just purely is garbage. Last night, and again, I will admit it. I'll own it, as will you, Reedy. I've never done it before this season. But again, last night at 2-0, I left. I'm just like, it's pointless. This is pointless, and it's not even worth. When we're going back to the car for the last 18, 19 minutes. It's not even worth looking at your phone to see if there's been anything, because all that you're going to miss is another goal by them. And it was pathetic. And I can't believe I'm on a video again saying I've left earlier, because I'm embarrassed to say that. But then I was embarrassed to be in the ground any longer, because it's just clueless by everybody who's on the pitch and everybody on the side of the pitch.
I see like Jack and Mark saying who. Any like Pep wouldn't keep us up. Well, what's the point in sacking him then if no one can keep us up?
Well, we can't really. We've got to get 9 points just to draw level.
No, I know that. That's why I'm saying there's no point getting rid of him. There's no point getting rid of him. If no one can do it, then it's an impossible task. You might as well keep him and not waste money getting rid of him and see what he can do in the Championship. If he has a bad start, then we get rid of him. There's no need. I don't think there's any point in doing it.
You see, Keith says it, we're already down, so why sack him? And I keep, listen, you're 99.9% right. But the reality is, Keith, there's 9 games left. There's 27 points. We're not yet, we've got a quarter of the season left.
But that means you're asking to beat Man City. Yeah, then you've got to be beating Man City. You've got to be beating Brighton. You've got to be beating Newcastle. It's a very tough ask, and we did it last time we went down. But
I don't think, as we stand now with where we're at, of course, there's not a cat in hell's chance. And to be fair, if you got the best manager in and somehow managed to magic some young players up that were going to be great, I don't think it would happen either. But it's not actually officially over yet, so that's why until it is, I'll have a glimmer of hope. I really will. Gary says sack him now. Patrick says
the only positive is we've not took Derby's record. That's the only positive we can say this season. We've got more points than they did.
Yeah, Nathan says get a complete clear out. Ian says worst team I've seen in 55 years. I've been watching Leicester. I think it's the most pathetic I've seen Leicester, Ian. It's not the worst side, Ian, because Ian, you've watched it for as long as me for 55 years. There's been worse teams out there, but I've said it before. When we lost against Stoke and got relegated to League One, we actually looked like we gave us stuff. The last 4, 5, 6 games, I haven't seen us look like we are there. Jordan says, in all fairness, I'm embarrassed to be a Leicester fan at the moment. It is one of those really rough ones. Matt says a new manager can assess now with no pressure and look to the Championship season. Keeping Rude is daft, he says it in there. Mark says, yes, get rid. Plan for the Championship with someone with some experience in there. Lee says he followed us out on 70 minutes. I know. Lee, I can't believe I'm admitting to it and saying it. I've never ever left games early before this season. Robert says you need 10 points as Wolves have a far better goal difference. I agree. Matt says here, Jay Simpson's lawyers couldn't get us out of this mess. Tony says Wolves win 2 from 9 and we'll need 16 points from 27. We've had 17 from 87. I know it is impossible, Tony. I hear you. I've just got a little bit, just 1.1%. Neil says, Phil, you sit 2 rows from me. I left at 67 minutes, wanted to leave at 45, but stayed to see there was any change from half, but there was nothing. Neil, come and say hello next time, Neil, and let's have a chat. Lee says here, sack the lot. Listen, Nick, it's not good times to be a Leicester fan. Thanks so much for joining us, Nick. I'm going to let you go.
Cheers, guys. Keep your faith.
What faith? What faith, for Christ?
Why do you think I'm smiling when I'm saying it?
No.
That faith 20 years ago.
We'll see you later.
I've got more faith in you giving me your bloody, your post. I've got more faith in you bringing my post than you come in here.
Well, that's part of the job, Reader.
Cheers, Nick. See you later. Reedy seems to have gone. I don't know where he is. Let's add him back in. Ian says, I've always stayed till the end of the games, but this season I've left a couple. It's that bad. Jack says, where's the fight that Rude was talking about? He's flogging us a load of rubbish in there. Alan says, mathematically, we could still make Europe. Don't ask any manager to be associated with the end of the season. Says, I understand what Keith's saying there. He's saying, don't tarnish anybody with it. MTL says, remember when we were in the Europa League playing against Napoli? Seems like years away. Yeah, I hear.
It wasn't Napoli, was it? It was Roma, wasn't it?
Well, no, you're saying we played Napoli. We played all these teams, haven't we? So we did play Napoli at one point, didn't we?
It was a pre-season game.
Oh right.
It was pre-season. I remember Osimhen scoring for him.
It was pre-season. We played Napoli in the Europa, not the Conference League, in the Europa League. Let me know on a postcode. I didn't go to the away game. I think we did, Reedy. But
I can't remember. I cannot remember a Napoli game, but it's fine. Either way, we're about to be Championship against Wrexham, mate. Here's what it is.
Yeah, Adam says Napoli was your. I'm pretty sure we did play Napoli.
Fair enough.
Because Terry says we played Napoli in Europe. Thank you, we did. Because I remember, Reedy, at the home game, watching the Napoli fans walk by us. We were stood where the Vichai statue is now, and there must have been about 400 or 500 of their ultras who look pretty mean. I think they all turned up in a busload and filled their boots at B&Q, if you remember that.
You know what? After this stream, I'm going to go back and watch that game. Just for a bit of a relief from watching this crap this season. Yeah. Wrexham next season. Come on. We'll be beating them. Don't worry. With Rooney in charge.
Deluded, Reedy. We need to come up with a You're really absolutely deluded. You live in cuckoo land, but we love you, mate. So, and Reedy, like me, you'll be renewing your season tickets. Come what may, because we're idiots, aren't we?
Hey, I'm going Man City. I can't wait to get back to 5-0. Maybe more. Can't wait.
Who knows? Anyway, listen, before we go, I'm going to just play a video. Hopefully it'll play. We've got a brand new competition thanks to our pals at Pucker Pies. You can win a season's worth of Pucker Pies, which is probably the best thing going at the moment. Reedy, what's the name of the lad who won the last competition?
James Hill.
Well done, James Hill. He's got his pies. He's still got to collect them. But I was down at Pucker Pies earlier today, and here's the new competition. See if you can get the answer to it and put it in the comments. So welcome to this month's competition, thanks to our pals at Pucker Pies. You can win a season's worth of pies. Now, all you have to do is answer this very, very simple question. What we want to know is, and it's a quiz question this week, all you have to do is answer, what squad shirt number was Anthony Knockaert when he played for Leicester City? Now, we could do with a bit of Anthony Knockaert spirit this season, but we don't seem to have it. Remember that? Don't sell Knockaert, there'll be a riot. There's no riots this season apart from we can't score a goal. But if you want to win a season's worth of Pucker Pies like these here, all you have to do is answer that question. What squad number shirt did Anthony Knockaert wear for Leicester City? Thanks again to the guys at Pucker, and good luck, everybody. So if you know the answer to that, put it in the comments. We'll be launching that competition over the next few days. Reedy, do you know the answer? Anthony Knockaert's squad number shirt? Such a fake fan, such a plastic. You do know Anthony Knockaert, though?
Yeah, I know Anthony Knockaert, yeah.
To be convinced.
Yeah, I know who he is.
You're young. Listen, if you do know the answer to that, put it in the comments here, in here, and you'll be entered. And of course, make sure you enter on the post. Thanks again to Reedy for joining us. Thanks to everybody who's got the comments in. We could say keep the faith, but I think it's all but gone, hasn't it? I've just got 0.1% because it's always in there, that club badge that you never know what's around the corner, but it's gone, hasn't it, Reedy? We'll see you soon.
It's gone.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.